What's up guys, Mil here, and today I have a team from Derek Green for you. He's a subscriber and he shows really much support. That's why I want to thank him by doing a raid on his team, improving it, rebuilding it a bit, making it better in high level play. So let's take a look at the team. So I got it from his comments and I want to read to you real quick what he think about when he built it. So he said Gyarados is an excellent setup Pokemon. That's true, and with prior damage it's easy to get a DD up. That's true if you get the right setup conditions or the winning conditions. If you remove the things that give Gyarados trouble, then it's really easy to get up a DD and just win the game clean up, because Gyarados is really strong and it has an insane amount of bulk. It has almost 300 special defense. And that's why it's such a good Pokemon. But quite underrated at the moment, not many people use it, but I think it's good nonetheless. Then he says one thing that I don't agree with. He says max speed doesn't seem relevant, but that's not true. Gyarados hits 284 speed, 287 speed, and you don't outspeed Mega Alakazam and Mega Aerodactyl after one DD. Okay, we have to accept that. Getting 2 DDs up is really hard. Getting 1 is already really hard. But let's put these 2 Pokemon aside because they are not that common, and we can weaken it with Toxicroak, for example. So he doesn't run max speed because he thinks that it's not relevant. And he said he got the set from a forum, but you have to consider the metagame right now. The post in the forum is maybe old, and maybe half a year old, and then there was no Hooper. Maybe Altaria wasn't that common, or they didn't use it that much. But the thing is that you outspeed, with max speed Gyarados, you outspeed Altaria, which has 284 speed, and you outspeed Hooper, which has 284 speed. And because these 2 Pokemon are S rank, it is already a viable argument to run max speed in Gyarados. Because other Pokemon, they run max speed Scarf Hooper, for example, or max speed Altaria. But we want to outspeed these. Really, speed is an essential part of the game, one of the most important. And that's the reason why, if you can, you should run as much speed as possible. So I like the set with Ice Fang, Dragon Dance, Crunch, Waterfall because it has so much coverage. We can Rotom to 40 something %, I think it's 45, and then we can hit them with +1 Crunch, it will KO, no problems. Then he chose Raikou as a momentum grabber. Let's look at the team here. He used the Gyarados set. So as I said, I want max speed. Okay, then he chose Raikou as momentum grabber with Assault Vest because Gyarados struggles with Thunderous, Manectric, and so fast electric types and opposing Raikous. So these are problematic. That's why we run Assault Vest, switch into these attacks, and then go for Volt Switch to grab momentum again. Shadow Ball is also a decent Lati switch in, but not the best. Then he chose Clefable because he wanted to have great utility, T-Wave things, and Fairy coverage tonight. That's true. Also he wanted to be good against Dragon types. Yeah, I'll get to that later. Then he wanted something to deal with Keldeo and Charizard Y, that's why he chose Latios. True, these Pokemon have a huge problem with Charizard Y. Raikou takes a hit, but it doesn't KO back. Yeah, that's not the best you can do, so Latios is really nice. Then he chose Toxicroak because it deals with fairies, with which Gyarados struggles, and it also is a win condition because it has Sword Stance, Sucker Punch. You know, you can go for an SD on a Pokemon that's choice locked into water move, for example, click SD and then clean with Sucker Punch if everything is weakened. However, Heatran, he wanted something for the steels and for the fairies. So that's his team. Now, what I don't like on this team is that his way of dealing with Scizor, Scizor, Ferrothorn, and Skarmory is a choice Scarf Heatran. You know, that's okay, you can deal with them. But the thing is, you have to think a few turns ahead. Let's say they have a Ferrothorn on their field and you have your Heatran on the field. You go for Fire Blast. Okay. They switch in their fire resists. Then they get momentum. But the fact that you have to get rid of these three steel types, Skarmory, Ferrothorn and Sizzle, is really important. You can't run a Choice Scarfed Heatran if you have to deal with these three, because these three wall the rest of your team. So something has to be done there. So, and what I thought of was first taking Heatran completely out, because I didn't think it was a great fit. So I chose Hippowdon there because we need a bird check. Choice Band, the Talonflame is still a thing and does a lot to all these Pokemon. We lose our core and then, yeah, the opponent has many opportunities. So the first thing was changing Hippowdon to Heatran, getting rocks on Hippowdon, and free the other moves on the other Pokemon. So let's click here and go for Hippowdon. Now, as you can see, we can move our rocks to Hippowdon. Then we don't need rocks on Clefable. Okay. The next thing you see now is we are completely walled by steel types, like the three I said. Now we need something to deal with them, right? Okay, let's go with Volcarona for Raikou. Both are special attacker. And Volcarona really threatened these steel types, because let's say you have your Latios in. What's their Latios counter? Well, it's a steel type, for example Ferrothorn or Heatran. Or even Skarmory. These are common Latios checks or Latios checks. Then you have the option to go for Draco safely and then switch directly into Volcarona, because they can't really touch you. You have to scout a bit if Skarmory has Brave Bird, for example, but they can't really touch you. And also, if you predict correctly and double into Volcarona, you're in a good position, because no steel type will stay in against Volcarona. They cannot touch you. So you could go for Quiver Dance there on their switch out and sweep their team. So this is the kind of this is the psychology behind using Volcarona, because they think, oh wait, what if he doubles into Volcarona, then he gets a setup, so I can't switch in my steel type safely, so I have to switch something else. Maybe they switch in their Assault Vest Raikou into Latias and then they lose it, and then you slowly get to their steel type. So that's the reason I chose Volcarona. I will show the set later. And now you see Toxicroak deals with fairies, but still, what if they have a Mega Gardevoir? What if they have a Diancie? Well, because we have Stealth Rock on Hippowdon, Clefable is a nice Pokemon, but I think it doesn't really fit. That's the reason why I chose Jirachi here. First, a Choice Scarf variant. First, it deals with fairies. Second, if we just lost our Momentum Grabber on Raikou, we want another one, so we chose Scarf Jirachi with U-Turn. Jirachi also has Healing Wish or Trick, which we can use and abuse against Stall, for example, and catch many opponents off guard. So that's the reason why I chose Jirachi. Okay, let's look at the full team. This is the full team. Max Speed Gyarados with Ice Fang, Dragon Dance, Crunch, Waterfall. Okay. Second Pokemon I want to say something about is Volcarona with Bug and Grass Fire coverage, which is insane, because if you get one Quiver Dance up and have prior damage on water types, they just get killed by Giga Drain and you gain health back. Also Lumberry, because for some reason everybody runs T-Wave and that's really annoying. So you have these two, which are pretty good core in my opinion. Then we have Toxicroak to deal with fairies to kill Azumarill. What if he locks himself into, let's say, Waterfall? And then we go, yeah, let's say something wants to go for water attack on Volcarona. We switch in our Toxicroak. With Dry Skin, we take nothing. Maybe they're Choice Lock, so we go for Sword Stance and proceed to sweep their team. So that's the reason why I think these three are a pretty good team. Then I wanted something else for fairies, because Gyarados really struggles with fairies, it's a dark type. So because of that I chose Jirachi with U-turn, Iron Head, Trick as an headbutt. You have this flinch chance, so you can sweep successfully. Yeah. Then you have U-turn to grab momentum, Trick to against stall, so you can trick, for example, Chansey, and then it's useless for the rest of the game. Hippowdon at the bird check with Stone Edge, Earthquake, Slack Off, Stealth Rock. We need rocks, we need a bird check, because these 3 are weak to, for example, Choice Band and Talonflame. And then a Latias, which with Defog, which is really needed because of Gyarados and Volcarona. Okay, that's the team. The next thing I want to show you is a replay. Okay, here's a replay. He has a Latios, Landorus, Heatran, Suicune with Calm Mind, Sleep Talk, Rest, Mega Scizor, and Mew, which is probably Stallbreaker. Not sure. So we lead off with Jirachi, he leads with Mew. And yeah, this battle was played by me and Terry, because we both looked at the team and we played against this guy. But I will say I, because it's easier for me. So I go for the U-turn here and switch in Mew on the predicted Will-O-Wisp, because you want to burn those Jirachis, and he lost nothing from burning. Now I predicted this Heatran, because this Heatran is my Volcarona switch in. So that's the reason why I went for Hippowdon. I go for the safe rocks, yeah. And now I kind of stall him a little bit out, because my Jirachi switch in is obvious, but I want damage on that. And I'm not sure if he has Roost or not. So he goes for Psyshock. I am in range of Draco, but I still go for an attacking move, because my Jirachi switch is obvious, and I really want to see if he has Roost, because that eases me the way later, if I know that. Now I go to Jirachi, take a lot, but now he has to switch, because if I go for U-turn, because I'm Choice Scarf, if I go for U-turn, I knock his Latios out. Then he has a hard time breaking my Hippowdon, because the only thing that he has then is his Suicune. So he goes for Heatran, I go for the U-turn, of course, grab the momentum, and go for Hippowdon. Now he makes a risky play, going for the Stealth Rocks, but it was not really obvious. I could have gone for Earthquake, but he made a ballsy play there, because he almost lost his Latios, and he is in a bad spot now. So now he went for the rocks. I think he holds his breath there. But yeah, my Earthquake is really obvious, and his Landorus is also obvious. But I still stayed in, and let's see what I did. Went for Stone Edge, predicting the Landorus. Yeah, because damage is damage. If you damage Landorus once, it is damaged the entire match, because it has no recovery. That's the reason why we continuously went for Stone Edge. So now his Latios and his Landorus are really low. They are so low that they just get killed by Scarf, -1 Iron Head from Jirachi. Okay, the only thing I have to get rid of are these 4 things, and that's not really easy. So he goes for Hippowdon, he goes for Suicune. We switch in the Gyarados first, to see what he's doing. Then we predict this. I predict the Scald and go for Toxicroak, because Scald, he really lost nothing from going for Scald there, and he heals me. Now I have the opportunity to go for Sword Stance, because Scald is his only move, and now I have to pray to hit this Gunk Shot and completely destroy this Mew. Gone. It's just gone. He switches in Landorus, knowing that I have Sucker Punch, but at this point he has nothing to switch into this. Heatran gets killed by Drain Punch, Landorus gets killed by Sucker Punch, Latios gets killed by Sucker Punch, Suicune doesn't take Gunk Shots as well, and it doesn't have a move to hit me. It is mono attacking Scald. And then he has Scizor, which is kind of a problem, but we'll see how we deal with that. So he goes into his Scizor, I go for Sucker Punch, and now I go for Drain Punch, do a nice amount of damage there, and he goes for Sword Stance. Now this is a true 50-50, because a Bullet Punch knocks me out. If he goes for Bullet Punch, he knocks me out. Okay, but he could also go for Roost on my Sucker Punch. So kind of a 50-50 there, but still I went for Drain Punch and killed the Scissor, gained some HP back, be at full, and now he has nothing. He tries to go for the Rooster all the time, but at some point I just go for Gunk Shot. This time hope I hit, and I hit. Latios gets completely destroyed, and now he forfeits because there's nothing he can do. Also, his he was at 1770 or something. You can look for his name on the ladder. So yeah, it really worked out, really nice. Okay, second replay against Life is a Roll. We lead off with Volcarona because it has quite a good matchup against his whole team. We go into Jirachi on the Tornadoes. He doesn't expect us to be Scuff. That's the reason why he goes for Taunt at this point. We cannot get our rocks up now, but we can go for Stone Edge, just making the aggressive play or also switching into Jirachi. Now we trick his Powdon, making it completely useless and set up for the Volcarona. So that was really nice. That turned out to be the best play of the match, as you can see later. Now Hippowdon against Tornadoes. Tornadoes can Hurricane flinch, but Stone Edge should do much. And yeah, we didn't have a really solid switch in. Maybe Jirachi, but yeah, we just went for Stone Edge. The Latios to defog because we don't want the hazards because of Volcarona. It's pretty weak to it. And now I think we go for Psyshock, yeah, weakening the Clefable, forcing it to heal itself at some point. Then we go into Powdon back because we want the rocks. Now this play might be a bit odd, but we stay in on the Hydro Pump because we want the rocks up. We want to punish Tornadoes. We don't want it to come in all the time because it is a threat to our team. And the reason why we stayed in here is because Hippowdon, we can still go for Slack Off on his Hippowdon with our Hippowdon. That's the reason why we took the damage. Of course it doesn't kill, does a lot though, but we get off the rocks. And we have a safe switch in Latias. He has a Pursuit Trapper though, but honestly I didn't think he would bring it in, because if he traps us with Pursuit, then Volcarona sets up and it's GG. That's the reason why he cannot trap our Latias. He goes for a Powdon, we go for Roost, of course, and now he makes a huge misplay by going for the Stealth Rocks, because that doesn't do anything. We can just defog, he switches. Yeah, it kind of makes sense because he can get Clefable in for free, and so that he can heal. But we have a safe switch in Volcarona. We have also Lumberry, so we are not worried about T-Wave. Moonblast does absolutely nothing because we resist the attack. And now just go for Quiver Dance. Hippowdon has a Choice Scarf now. And yeah, if he would have gone for the Stone Edge, then Toxicroak would have gotten up a Sword Stance and killed everything. So that's the reason why we stayed in and went for the Quiver Dance. And we get the +2 boost, and at this point it is just over. So making Hippowdon, giving Hippowdon the Choice Scarf was really the match winner here. There's nothing he can do. We Quiver Dance even again, go for Fury Dance, kill everything, and it's GG. Okay, that was it, guys. If someone of you shows as much support as Derek, I can think about doing something like that for you too, because it takes a lot of time, you know, looking at the team, thinking about all the possibilities, checking threats, caring about synergy and such. It really took me 2 hours to fix the team, and then we discussed 1 hour with Terry and we tested it. So at least 5 or 6 hours went into building such a team. It is really not an easy task, and it's one of the most difficult things I have faced in any game. So that was it for this for this upload, and the next upload we'll see each other in is the live with this team. So see ya.